Now let's go to the energy crisis. The Australian energy regulator has approved a price increase, meaning households in New South Wales are going to see their power bills rise by up to 9.1% starting July 1. Queensland, South Australia and Victoria will also see price increases. Patrick, the news comes as we're finding out the full cost of renewables. We're going to have a decade of these price surges because the transition is just so expensive, and we still don't know if it's actually going to work. And I would suggest most thinking people would say it's not going to work.
Yes.
But here we are. We're going full steam ahead with this plan despite the considerable cost to the community.
Well, look, it amazes me that these sorts of numbers haven't sort of been currency before now. I mean, this is all very predictable. It's going to cost an absolute fortune. They're not going to hit the targets. It's going to, dislocate a lot of regional communities, especially. It's an ideological wonderland of craziness that should have been a big election issue, to be fair.
Absolutely.
And look, if it's hitting people in the hip pockets, if people are struggling as it is, if they keep going up 9% a year or 7% a year, Australians are going to say we can't afford to be green. We've got to save ourselves before we save the planet at some point.
Well, this is the great failure of the coalition. Since they've signed up to net zero, they've lost 2 elections in landslides, and they can't argue anymore that it has to be a decision between emission cuts and affordability. They did that in 2019 and they won the unwinnable election, and they've, I don't know, for some reason abandoned that position. And this is another area where they really should have gone to town during the election campaign and they failed. Revelations that only 1% of politicians and public servants on very generous defined benefits pension schemes will be affected by Labor's plan to tax unrealised gains on super accounts in north of $3 million. There's a great report on this by Frank Chung in news.com.au. He does great work on that site. Now, I can't believe, Patrick, that the coalition failed to prosecute this argument. It is so profoundly unfair.
Yes.
And the fact that they're exempting themselves makes it even more unfair. And yet, I don't think most Australians really understand this issue until now, until post-election.
No, look, it was sold by the Labor Party that basically only 80,000 Australians would be affected by this. But it sets a precedent. Where is the line going to move? And if you actually look at $3 million it's as the threshold, that's not going to be indexed. So $3 million today might sound like a bit of money. In 20 years' time, it's not going to be as great as an amount. And you look at young people now, if you look at the modelling now for, say, 22-year-olds on average wages, doing well, doing the right thing, putting their money into the safe place that super has always represented, they'll be over $3 million in 40 years' time. It's a really retrograde tax that has been condemned by everybody except the Labor ministers who have gone out to defend it. And
there's no guarantee that they won't apply it to other asset classes. I mean, why not apply it to property or share portfolios or all sorts of other assets an individual might have? So you're right, once this is in effect, it's probably going to expand even further.